Welcome.
Welcome to Bro Science Podcast
where we make science.
Let's go.
together.
Not actually, not really.
It's
So
actually, I've seen the term bro science used by the Modern Wisdom podcast guy. What's his name? Chris,
Chris Freelancer, yeah.
to refer exactly to things that are not science. So like to say the opposite.
Yeah, of course.
So like
That's
we're about to
exactly
use
what
bro
we do.
science. Nah.
So bro science is just thinking this is science, but it's just like bros
Dude,
talking
is the
about shit.
Modern Wisdom podcast, is that the one where they always do like those Instagram videos and it comes up with the exact music and like the words pop up on the middle of the screen?
A lot,
That
yeah.
those videos piss me off. Like they're
Really?
so bad.
Oh, I love
And
that podcast.
no, I don't know about the podcast, but like those videos when there's like girls, like all these like I don't know, like girls in a room and like they're not
No,
the
that's not the
brightest.
one. No, that's not
Is
the
that
one.
okay? Because I
No,
see
that's
those
not the
videos on
one. No, yeah,
Instagram
me
and
neither.
TikTok or whatever, and
No,
they
me neither.
piss me
Yeah,
off.
same.
No, no,
No.
no. You mean like the one that Andrew Tate's seen and those kind of guys?
Kind of like that, yeah. And I'm just
No, that's
like,
not the
this
one.
is just such a
It's
broken part of the internet.
No, no, no. So
Like,
Modern Wisdom is usually just Chris Williamson, British guy, like blonde, bald, not bald, but he like shaves, and then him and someone else in the other side of the table. Usually he brings guys like Alex Hormozy, uh, Andrew Huberman, David
okay,
Goggins, Jocko Willing, those kind of people. And they also have a lot of like Instagram clips or YouTube Shorts clips.
yeah.
With music like I think that's what sells, that's why everyone does that, but I think the
Oh,
content is pretty
as
good.
soon as I hear that music, whatever that song is, pisses me off. And it's just like, because I know, I'm like, it's going to be some crazy opinion and like someone wrecking someone. Oh, shut up, man. Like, this is just like, it's not real
Yeah.
life.
And I think we always come back to this somehow, or maybe I come back to this, but I think that's the problem with social media. It just
Yeah.
like extrapolates everything to one side and makes it everything so polarized.
Oh, and yeah, it's such a crazy polarized opinion or like opinions. And I don't
And I was
appreciate them.
actually yesterday just watching a software engineer content creator on YouTube. He
Yeah.
was talking. There was a guide saying that you shouldn't really take too much attention on Twitter because there are so many super strong opinions that are actually not. They don't have nuances, so they're like just there to get attention. And then there was this other guy opinating on top of it, saying that what this guy was true, but if you do that, if you talk with nuances and with calm and not being like so opposed to something like so strongly, if you're
Yeah.
like an actual down to earth person, no one's gonna see you in YouTube or Reels or whatever, which is
Mm,
true. Which is true, and I think that's the bad. That's why it's bad.
yeah. You need to be like an outlier to stand out, but like you might not want to be.
You need to
Yeah.
like, yeah, people engage with either stuff that strongly resonates with them or strongly dissonates with them. If it's something
Mm.
that's moderate and it's like actually taking on account both sides of opinions and people don't care.
Yeah, and actually, my gut instinct tells me that that's gonna be the end of us. I don't know. It's the end
The
of
end
us.
of us? I reckon
Bro,
that's
like,
to me, that's not a moderate opinion. That's like an extreme.
no, man.
I would, my moderating
Like if you
answer,
if
which gets zero clickbaits, is like, I think it's just not great outcome.
you got a good point, but I stand by my point, and I'm not trying to be sensationalist, but like if you have how many people use social media? 6 billion people using social media and being polarized more and more every day. and how are you going to properly defend a good way to manage the world? Like everyone's polarized. How do you
I don't
the
think everyone's
police, man? The
polarized,
police
man.
Plato.
I think
He what? Yeah,
I, nah.
I don't
Because
think
like
everyone's polarized.
I think majority of people that like majority that people are probably posting polarizing views, and probably those posts will push people to become more polarized. But like I feel like most people are like ghost users on a lot of platforms. Like they don't post that much; they just absorb content. So they're not really polarized, but like yeah, there's like they'll
yeah,
get influenced, but
mm,
yeah, I mean, like
yeah.
I see the social media a lot like the stock market, like in a weird way, like that the price information on the stock market doesn't actually reflect everyone's willingness to buy and sell because not everyone's buying selling at one point. It's just a couple
Mm,
people. So like it's same as Instagram, like just a couple people are posting and reacting. Not everyone's in it, even if they're a part of it.
mm,
Yeah, but
I see.
yeah, and I think people that post polarized opinions are usually pretty loud, way louder than people that just watch or don't quite agree with everything, but maybe some part of the
Mm.
content.
Or they're just the loudest. They make the most noise. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's the person you're going to hear the most. Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah.
So annoying, man.
Mm.
And that
Solution: delete Instagram.
I don't know. I don't know, but it's hard. It's difficult, man. Also, it's
Mm.
because you also want to be in touch with people, right?
Nah, fuck them. Fuck them. Wait, we can't do 2 episodes on Instagram and social media. We got to change the topic.
yeah.
I'm changing.
Yeah,
Cut. Scene. Santi has
onboarding.
something great to say.
Yeah, I was telling you guys that I started a new job in what I wanted. I wanted to get into a product team. It's like I'm in product management now, and it's incredible to see how things that I thought are actually sometimes real, and it's companies sometimes rely that their products are going to be their way to just economic sustainability. And like I mean it's the thing that the commercial or the commercial team sells. It's what drives growth, and you're basically managing it. And if you're not pulling out like this if you're not designing and delivering features on time, then the company is blocked by that. Anyways, it's incredibly fun, and it's been even more fun because the guy that's product management, and there's always one product manager in the company, has taken a lot of time aside to coach me. um I entered as a business analyst, and which is not the same as product management, but I've my main job, at least in the short term, is to like cover a gap in product in like productive and the productive overload he had, like managing the software team. And they want him to scale up and be in more like the tactical and strategy of the products, and like for formulating a product vision um and all that. So he's coached me in how to take care of the software team, and how to manage them. And he's been so good. He's really his productivity has lowered a lot in the past 3 weeks, and I think that's shown in the company. But he is the first one to like in all those conversations when they call him out, he like inflates his like chest and just says like you all knew that if someone came in a company, then inevitably the productivity lowers in the first weeks, and then it's supposed to spike up in the first few weeks. You're not supposed to see any difference. In fact, you see a decrease in productivity. And he's been really patient with me. He every time I ask him something, he gets out Figma and starts making me like a whole graph and like a whole illustration of how things work. And yeah, that's why I'm so optimistic with this new job. I feel very empowered. It's great. And yesterday, I went to visit the office that's in another city, and as we're heading out, he grabs in his backpack and hands me out this book, which is like one of the Bibles, I would say, of UX UI. It's called Don't Make Me Think. He said he's read it before. He doesn't like having read books around his house because they serve him no purpose, and he
I
wanted me to
disagree
read
with
it.
that.
He gave me to read it, and then he wanted me to give it to someone else that or keep it, whatever I wanted.
Is it in
You
Spanish?
disagree with that? It's Spanish. Yeah, I would have.
Damn.
Yeah, I would have told you. Yeah, but yeah, it's a lot of illustrations, man. I think you'd manage.
So it's interesting.
So yeah,
See, I'm in a small company, and like onboarding is it's a massive thing for us. Or like, and everyone's never got time to teach the person everything, and it's so hard. And I'm very concerned that I always want the person that we're onboarding to have a great onboarding experience, and I'm just wondering how he's made it so good for you. Like, is he just a great guy? Do you guys just get along? Do you feel like he's just got time for you? Do you feel like you're ever in the deep end doing shit that you don't know how to do? Like, what is your experience like, and how has he, or how is it good?
I think yeah, a good part is that we get very much along. That I'm very, very, very motivated, and it's like it's a mutual thing. If he's taking out time to teach me, then I'll inevitably be incredibly motivated to learn. But also, I think he's got an incredible sense of how much time, like he's incredibly patient. He's willing to stop productivity at the company because he the same as you, he thinks it's incredibly like it's really important to onboard people well. So he has no problem in facing his superiors, I would say, or like standing up to his superiors and saying like, I'm being patient with this guy because I trust that in return, it'll all like come back in a few weeks. So yeah, I think that's the most important thing he's done. He recognizes the importance, so he's incredibly patient teaching me, and I'm telling you, like
Okay.
he doesn't rush. He answers all my questions. If I were to call him in the middle of meetings, he'd answer, and he stands up for what he's doing.
Hmm.
Because he sees it as a long term thing. He's not like in okay, we'll not arrive to the next sprint with every feature delivered. He's like, it'll be normal, and I'll be able to justify it because I'm teaching you how to
Okay.
help.
Is this the same experience you have, Martin, at your company?
Um, Depends on where. I think there have been companies that I've joined, and people have like just expected that I know everything out of the box, uh, which has been not ideal, especially when they're companies in fields that are not trivial. Um, but then there have been other times that I've been onboarded just fine. Um,
Yep. Okay.
I have had both experiences.
So what would you say was more beneficial in the end? The just fine
Um,
one, or the
I think both have pros and cons in the sense that when you're expected to know everything, you go be, far and beyond everything to understand it yourself, and you end up having a, I would say, richer understanding. But it also takes you more time and more effort. When everyone is explaining everything to the detail to you, uh, you get it well, like far more easily and faster. Um, but you may not go beyond that, uh,
mm,
and sometimes not necessary either. So
yep. Because yeah, I'm thinking about this. Like we've just hired someone, and I kind of teach them with someone else or with some other people. Like we kind of all teach, but like just thinking like, what's the best method for onboarding? Like, how much should I be putting more effort in? Should I, and this, by the way, more effort just means longer work hours. Like that's all it means for me. Like it's pretty much a function of that. Like the more time I spend there is the more time I just stay back at work because there's other things I need to do. Like there's no chilling. But I really do want her to succeed. Like, and the more I invest now, I understand that the more that I reap the team reaps the rewards later. Yeah. So I think I'm trying to strike a balance between being very thorough with the teaching, but also like giving that kind of like, it's a bit of more deep end treatment, not like easing into everything. Like I want her to understand the stresses of the job because it does become stressful. Yeah. What are your
Um,
thoughts?
I think it's important for you to gauge like how she's feeling. So how long has she been with you guys?
2 weeks.
Right. I think
Fresh off the boat.
I think
But
yeah,
she's
yeah.
also not a graduate. Like Santi, you're a graduate. You've never had a role like this, correct?
No, no, I haven't had a role like this. No.
Mm. She's been doing this kind of role, similar, for 4 years
Okay.
somewhere else.
I think, guys, we just talked about how people usually looks for like extreme opinions, and I think this is just one of those examples where we need nuances and understand that you need stuff from both sides, and it's a balance between going deeper and looking what's under behind the scenes of everything, and understanding by yourself, and at the same time being guided by a person that already went through that path. I think it's the balance. I don't think it's just one or the other.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But like, I'm just trying to find like, kind of like, what's the optimal, or like, how can I, how can I be better at the onboarding process? How can I be better? And probably the only reason I can really find out how to be better is especially looking at these big companies, how they do it. And I've never really worked for a big company, like maybe like once.
I would never take, well, not never, that's an extreme opinion and we don't like that. I wouldn't necessarily rely on big corporation practices.
Oh, absolutely.
Because
But
so
their standards will be better than ours. They're like their standards will be. You know, there's a
there's
reason why they're bigger than us.
yeah, but just because there's standards and they work for them doesn't mean that they're the most efficient and optimized ones.
Agreed. Agreed. Yep.
And I see that every day. Like I work for a big corporation, and it's just so inefficient.
Really?
Just because we have
Oh,
processes and systems that, so that's one of the reasons I disagree with your manager Santi on not keeping books that you already read. So last week, uh, there was a guy in my company that wanted to change a process because he wanted to make it better. When I thought the process was not perfect, but I also thought the solution was he was proposing was not necessarily better either. I read a book a while ago called The Personal MBA, and it's like just the basis on what people usually learn on an MBA.
is this by Tim Ferriss?
I think so. I
So
think
good.
so.
But yeah.
No, by Josh Kaufman.
Okay.
And when last week he tried to do that, just change that process because he wanted to optimize it. I quickly remembered one of the sub chapters of the book that's called intervention bias. In
Yeah.
intervention bias, he describes it as the natural in our natural impulse to intervene in things that may not work as good as we expect. So sometimes we see processes and we want just to intervene for the sake of intervening because we have like some force that moves us toward that. But in most cases, you don't need to intervene. In most cases, it makes sense to not do nothing, even when things go bad. Uh, and I think
Okay.
that was one of those cases.
For
So,
you
for
to
example, when
intervene or for the other guy?
he was trying to intervene the process, he was trying to make it better by adding more layers of control and process and etc. etc. And when I listened to him, I heard that, and I said to him, listen, I think you're doing this, and I think it's not being productive. I think you're trying to intervene just to like try to make try to feel to that you have control over the situation when it's not true. And I sent him a screenshot of, because it was like a short a
Yeah.
short
Flow
That'll
diagram.
probably piss him off. Did it piss him off?
paragraph. No, because we have a great relation, and I always see
Okay.
it from a point of respect and trying to like hopefully get to a better position. I think that's also important. Like the way you communicate is sometimes more important than what you communicate. So I said it in a way that he understood I was with my best intentions trying to help.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think sometimes go to books that I already read to read back something I remember, and I think it's good. And something I remember, I listened from Alex Hormozy. He said it's better to read 10 times a good book than one time 10 books, and I think that's true. Like you don't need to read many books. You just need to read good books, and you can read them and reread them and reread them
Yeah.
and go back and share them. I think it's good. Also, you forget stuff from books a lot most of the time, so it's
Hmm.
good to give them
Well, who knows if
a new read.
who knows if he actually didn't want to get rid of the book, but just
But his statement, or at least the way you said it, was, "I don't want to
yeah,
keep books that I already read."
yeah, he did say that, but
Yeah.
yeah,
He might have said
I
it in a
didn't
nice
fixate on
way.
that.
I think really it sounds like the guy's actually just trying to give a book he loves and trying to encourage other people. And I think that's
Yeah,
the
and
message
that's
that
great.
Santi picked up
That's
anyways.
great.
Because he also said that Santi should pass on the book. So it's like give the gift that I've learned and then pass it on. It's
Yeah,
actually a good sign of leadership.
that's great.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, because this guy sounds like he's trying to make a more complex solution. One thing that I try to do with all my solutions is just simple, even if it's stupid. Like simple solutions are better solutions, in my opinion. Um, the
Sometimes.
more complex you make things, like it's like it can just get unnecessary, aka politics. Like it's just fucking stupid.
Yeah. Well, and going back to the big corporations, that's why I started this point.
Yeah, overly
So
complex
I think
processes. Oh,
most
does
of
my
the time
head
big
in.
corporations have a lot of bureaucracies and processes that are nonsense, and they are produced by this intervention bias of people trying to control things that are out of their control, and thinking that adding layers of control
Mm,
and processes will make them better. So that's why I
that's it.
wouldn't rely on big corporations, because
Yep.
they tend to do that and have that already installed.
I think that's the key that I was missing from what you said. Intervention bias, trying to intervene on things you want to control that are inherently out of your control. I love that. That's good. Yeah, you don't intervene in those. That's a good lesson. Yep.
I thought the bias meant like don't intervene. Don't think that intervening will fix the situation.
It has different angles, depends on the situation and
Yeah.
everything, but it just says that intervention bias means that we tend to intervene, and sometimes it's better not to. Sometimes it's a pretty balanced opinion. It's just saying, hey, take a look at the situation, analyze it, and think, does it actually make sense to intervene? So, for example,
Okay.
he makes a really good point. Imagine a company has a policy that allows you to buy any book you want, because books are cheap and are a great source of information and knowledge and training. So imagine a corporation that allows you to buy any book you want, no questions asked, as many as you want. one day there's a one employee that in 1 month buys like 90 books just for his personal use and are like novels, and he abuses this policy. He says that a lot of people in many companies what would do is or either remove the policy or add some layers of security saying that you can only buy if your manager approves it, or adding a maximum amount of books, when none of these things are gonna fix the issue, because it's not it's not a real issue. It's just that one guy abused the policy. When the if you remove the policy or put extra layers of security, everyone else is gonna be annoyed and they're not gonna be able to keep training themselves like they were. So what will actually solve this situation is not adding more layers of processes and security and bureaucracy. Is just talking to the guy and
Mm,
say, "Hey, this is not what we intend to do." Worst case scenario, you just fire that one guy. Like worst case scenario, but mm, the process doesn't need intervention because the
mm,
process is not wrong. It's just that there was one case in which someone abused it.
mm. So I've always said there's a three ways that you can grow or like grow a company. It's process, people, person. So you can either grow yourself, the people around you, or the processes. It's pretty much the way you grow, right? Now, it's interesting you've just made this distinction to understand, well, if you can either change a process, if a process has like system noise and it affects everyone and like it's not the people using it, it's actually the system, then you change the process. But if it's an individual using the process incorrectly, then it's the person that you change, not the whole process, which I like. You don't change a whole company's processes for one person. Like that doesn't make sense. Mm, I like
Yeah,
it.
and I think it's again a balanced opinion. Like just make sure like they're complex situations. They have many angles, many opinions, many. So analyze it correctly and think what will actually be useful and good for the future.
Mm, yep.
And I think what you're saying, Martin, brings me back to another point of the onboarding process at a company. So, like, because you replied to Chavi in that maybe you shouldn't take in, like, you shouldn't consider corporate processes or big firm processes, but instead maybe talk to the guy with your example. I'm saying,
Mm,
I think at least that's why I also said you need to gauge the situation because for example, I feel like I'm a pretty sensitive guy in this in the work like in the work environment, meaning that if I feel like there's something more to the work that I'm doing outside of like if I've actually got a purpose there and people that I can learn from and a place to go in there and like scale up and be of support, like see myself in other positions in the workplace that's incredibly important to me and that
mm,
sometimes it's just given through motivation and like not a process I have to go through but instead like having someone that's and you're very good at this, Chavi. You're very like acogedor. I don't know how you say that word.
welcoming.
Like imagine her like I wouldn't say it would be so bad that if you imagine that the next day you saw her at the office you imagined you were welcoming her to like a dinner party and like you're trying to
Mm,
make her feel comfortable and making like her try to see like find aspirations inside the workplace and like gauge
mm,
how she's actually feeling, if she's motivated, if she's and if not empower her and like I think that's sometimes like Martin you said sometimes there's different sort of people, like some people might benefit from not being held by the hand and like being spent spoon fed all the knowledge because they might do it themselves and might reach a even higher level, but other people um are actually empowered by that sort of process and like then
mm,
they go out of their own way because what happened to me is because I feel empowered now I see the I see the people above me, and I'm like, I can be of support to them eventually. So I'm gonna study because I wanna be of
Mm.
support because I feel very motivated, like intrinsically motivated.
Yeah. Mm. No, that's a great point you raise. Yep. Because yeah, I guess me as an individual, I'm very motivated when I'm not spoon fed. Like I don't like being spoon fed. Um, yeah. So, but like I 100%. I probably lead the opposite way. Like I probably try and help people, like to make them feel comfortable and everything. Because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. Like the new person we've hired, like she's finding it very tough. Or like so I've had a chat with her and all that kind of stuff and whatever. But she's getting there. She's getting there, which is great. She's really rising to the
And
challenge.
two
But
weeks is nothing, man. 2 weeks is nothing. So
yeah, I
if she's
know.
already getting there, I wouldn't
I
worry.
mean, yeah, she's getting there from my encouraging perspective. She's got a couple months to go, but like,
No, but
yeah,
still, yeah.
I just like the attitude. As soon as you see good attitude, I'm like, yep, I like you.
And
You
that's
know?
so hard to find, man. There's
Yeah,
so little people with good attitude
she's
nowadays.
got a great attitude. It does my head in when people have bad attitude. Like I'm like, nah, see ya. Like, don't talk
Yeah,
to me.
yeah, yeah.
If you're
That's
not
like the
willing,
key
if you're not
to.
motivated, if you're not caring, just leave. Just what are you doing?
It's like a
You
key
don't
to
even like what
life,
you're
man.
doing. You're not even passionate. Just go. Just
It's like a life hack, isn't it? It's like if you show
Of
great
course.
attitude, you'll go into you'll get jobs, you'll get friends, you'll get it's great and
And
it's
it's
free,
not
man.
only
It's
that,
free.
man. You'll get like purpose and meaning and like a reason to live, I think.
yep, yep. No,
And I
so
and I think, yeah, what you mentioned is true, and it's a side effect. But I think, or at least I think that those people don't really like follow anything or like try to achieve anything. They're not dying instead of living. I don't know.
that's good. Okay.
Yeah, I think you can decompose that great attitude in like a lot of like you could say like I'd love to do with you guys like a hundred statements that show great attitude because now just a couple have come through to my head like for one the main one that pops into my head now is thinking that you can learn something from everybody.
Yeah.
Thinking like I think that's such a good key to life and shows great
Yeah.
attitude.
Hmm.
Some people like they won't enter a workspace or they won't enter a certain room because of stereotypes that people are in another like level from them or they're not the same as them, but you can always learn something
Oh, that
from
does my head
somebody
in.
even.
That pisses me off. That attitude. Just
Yeah, man.
it's just dumb. Like it's actually stupid. Like it's just such a terribly like uncreative view. You
Yeah,
know? Yeah.
yeah,
Like you're like the stupidity is not being able to see brilliance where other people can't. Like that's to me like a blatant form of stupidity.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I've learned great things from people that I never expected.
yeah. Yeah, same. Some people annoy me. Like even one of the guys I work with, oh, he just talks like, as in like, fluffs on and on and on. I'm like, bro, get to the point. Like I've got shit to do. Like, but he's really like intelligent, and he really knows what he's talking about. It's because he's old. He's like 60, and like when you're 60, you just start talking. Like you just like I don't know. And then when you're 70, it gets even worse. Like people just yap. Like he's like starting at this yap stage, and it's just sometimes infuriating. Like he's going on this whole tangent. I'm like, bro, stop. Like, obviously, I don't say that. Obviously, I'm like, yeah, wow, that's awesome. What about this? Like, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's people that love to talk.
Like I do as well. I love that. Just like, dude,
No,
like
but
not while I'm working or not while I'm doing
and,
something. Like this is
and
not the
it's
time.
different. It's different because I think there's people that like don't. know how to listen, and they just talk, and they
Yeah.
don't even let you interact. It's not a conversation. It's just like,
That's the biggest red flag for a friend, a partner, whatever. Like that's the number one
Oh,
red flag for me.
just
And I'm
talking.
being sensationalist again. Yeah, just talking.
I reckon that is your number one red flag. If you're gonna have number one red flag.
I don't know. It's so annoying, man. The second, yeah, yeah, like not like what it's one of the worst feelings when you've just been in an hour long conversation and feel like you've talked twice. I hate that. I mean, because I don't have the need to talk, but I feel like it's it's the not being asked about. Like you're giving time to that person, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
You know what I find even worse? Like sometimes someone will respond to you, but like it's just a shocking response. It's like they're not really hearing you, or it's not really a conversation. There's
I
a
sometimes do that.
really different conversation going on in their head. Where
I
I'm just like,
sometimes do that. I tend to go to Mars while I'm, but it's only if I'm not engaged in the conversation, and usually that happens when the other person just love to talk. So I just go to Mars, and
yeah,
I just start answering like, yeah, but in my head I'm like somewhere else. But it's only if I'm not engaged in the conversation, and that usually happens when the other person doesn't really show interest in me, like participating in the conversation. They just want to talk.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I tend to do that. I'm sorry, Charlie, if I ever did that to
I don't think you ever have, man. Or guess what? Even if you have, I haven't noticed.
you.
So yeah, nah.
what's the what's the red flag then? People that are in need of attention so much that they won't let well don't care about
No,
you.
people that just don't give genuine attention. Like they want it, but they won't give it.
And I think
Like
they just don't double think it. They just have something in their head, and then just say it, and then talk and talk and talk and talk. I think some people don't even wonder if you care, or or that if you have something to say on what they have said. I don't know. I think they just don't overthink it. That's just a guess of mine.
You know what's another red flag? Dyeing your head red.
Or purple or red
is
or
that a
red.
red flag? Is that? Oh, okay. Yeah.
And
Purple.
I'm sorry, but I think it's the same type of person of the second of the
No,
red flag we were just talking about.
red's all right. Purple,
Depends
purple.
depends on
Okay,
the shade
I
of
feel
red.
bad. Purple's not a red flag. It's just not a flag I'm attracted to. Okay, let's just say that.
For me, it is a red flag. Green hair.
Uh, yeah,
You can
purple's
stay where you
interesting.
are.
I don't know. I don't. Have you guys
I
ever
think
wanted to
the
dye your hair? Or Martin, you have dyed your hair, haven't you?
I dyed
but
it yellow,
Yeah, I remember
and then you
that.
went bald.
and then I got bald.
Oh, and then I remember you
I
were so,
love.
I remember when we saw you in your bald like this. Like, don't look at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're all like, bro, just show us, man.
and then you took off. I think your hat, and we were both like, "You're not bald." And then you kept
Yeah,
going, "I'm
bro, you're not
bald."
even bald.
You
You're
weren't
faking it.
bald.
Like, he's fake
I wasn't
bald.
You
bald,
weren't
man.
bald.
I was
Nah,
bald.
man.
You weren't bald. You had a shaved head.
What's the difference?
That's my point. You don't see the difference of bald and shaved head. Bald's like prop. It's like proper. You don't. You have nothing.
So you mean you can see the skin?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
that's
I
bald.
wasn't
Yeah,
bald.
egghead.
Yeah, I wasn't bald.
Egghead. Guardiola.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys, I need to get going.
yeah, same.
Okay.
It's been great.
Hey
See you
guys,
guys.
today is Nicolas Jarry Tsitsipas
Oh, of course.
in. Okay, you'll be asleep. Don't worry. And then it's a Chilean tennis player, Martin. He's playing the semifinals against Tsitsipas. Yeah.
I don't really follow sports much.
Okay, but you need to watch it today. Okay, trust me. And that because on the other, that's one bracket, one Chilean, and on the other bracket's another Chilean, and we might have a Chilean final in Rome. You need to watch this. It's like the World Cup for us. Okay, and then the,
When's the final in Rome?
I don't know, but there's like games every day. So today's
Rome.
Yardi, tomorrow's gonna be Tavilo with against Zverev.
Rome.
Like, anyways, you need to watch it. And then on this Saturday, it's Arsenal and City play their last Premier League match, and City is probably going to take the league. But I'm an Arsenal fan, and you need to watch that, Xavi, as well.
Now everyone wants Arsenal in the league.
Yeah.
Who's City playing? West Ham?
Okay, bye, Martin.
Bye, Martin.
Yeah, West Ham, and then Arsenal's playing.
I think
Crystal
this is going to
Palace?
end when Martin moves, but
No, Everton. Okay, we're still doing the podcast. Anyways, goodbye, everyone. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to take a shit.
okay. Love you, son.
Today it's a new grind. You already had your grind, so take good care, good rest, good sleep.
Thanks, man. Love you, bro. Have a great
Good
day.
night, everyone. Bye bye.
Okay. See you guys.